Cricket presents the Warmup, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Ted Madden. It's state championship week, so let's get you ready for some football. We've reached state title weekend, and the Metroplex has 6 teams playing for championship rings. Let's preview a couple of those teams in the lineup, presented by So Chill Chips and Salsa. In the 6A Division I final, it will be a rematch that Duncanville has been craving all season long as the Panthers take on North Shore for the 4th time in the past 5 years. The previous 3 times, Duncanville has found themselves on the losing end. The Panthers will be looking to win their first state title since 1998, and it would be the first for head coach Reginald Samples. It's been nothing but heartache for Duncanville when they've faced the Mustangs, including 2018's Hail Mary loss on the last play of the game. This year's team is certainly capable of payback, especially with the way junior running back Caden Durham is playing. He has shown off his speed all year, running for over 1,800 yards and 33 touchdowns this season. Caden had a back injury that kept him out of last year's final, a 17-10 North Shore win, and he's determined to show off his talents in front of a huge crowd Saturday night. Durham only needs a couple holes a game to turn the tide in Duncanville's favor. That's because their defense sports the #1 recruit in the state of Texas for the class of 2024, Colin Simmons. That defense allowed only 132 yards to Prosper last week in a 41-0 shutout. North Shore will have its weapons too, including some stars from last year's Mustangs win. David Amador caught the game-winning pass against Duncanville last year. This year he is filling in at quarterback and ran for 120 yards last week in a win over Austin Westlake. This one will certainly be the marquee game of the night. Desoto is back in the 6A Division II title game for the first time since winning its first championship in 2016. And boy, are they riding some serious momentum. The U takes on Austin Vandegrift Saturday at 3 p.m. after the Eagles knocked off the Division II favorites Denton Geyer convincingly, 47-28. The defense was all over Jackson Arnold and forced the Wildcats to punt in 4 of their first 6 possessions, which is not what Geyer usually does. Then there's DeSoto's best-kept secret, the ground game. Sophomore DeAndre Ryden, junior Jaden Treywick, and senior Trey Weisner ran for 412 yards last week and have been impossible to contain all season. When the Eagles go to their fast-paced running attack, it completely wears down their opponents. That's when DJ Bailey and the pass game goes into effect. Bailey has speedsters Jonte Cook and Cedric Harden Jr. to hit those go routes, and when it all comes together, it usually means a victory for DeSoto. The Vipers of Vandegrift used 2 double passes for touchdowns and a late field goal to take down Katy last weekend. They are not to be ignored, but DeSoto is a heavy favorite in this one.
This winter, treat yourself to speed and saving. Switch to Cricket today and get nationwide 5G on all plans for as low as $30 per month.
Enjoy the authentic flavors of ancient recipes. So thin, so crisp, so good, so chill.
Duncanville's girls basketball team will be without TCU Commit Victoria Flores this year due to injury. However, we caught up with her on the recruiting trail.
Hi, my name is Victoria Flores. I go to Duncanville and I'm a point guard. I've always wanted to commit somewhere where I know I could go in and make a difference, to stand out. You know, I didn't want to go to a school where I wouldn't make a difference, not only in the community, but on the court. And I really think I know TCU is really that place, because although all these other colleges are about business, you know, when they found out I tore my ACL, they couldn't easily said, oh, yeah, we're going to take that offer back. We need somebody who's going to come in and, you know, help me. But they didn't. They even recommended me some doctors that were close by the school. So that alone just really showed me that I made the right decision. And it's just such a family environment. And that's one of the top things that is a priority in my life, is my family. Well, one of my strengths, I'd say, that has nothing to do with the ball is my leadership. I think that makes me stand out a lot. Makes me stand out a lot more than any other kids, because, you know, there's point guards out here that are just passing the ball, getting good plays, but not every point guard is a good leader. I want people to, on the court, I want people to remember me by the hard work I put in. I can say basketball has taught me so much, but if it's taught me one thing, it's to always give 110 in any aspect of life. So kind of the same off the court, but I'd also like to add like the light I bring to other people. I really believe that I hold myself to a higher standard and people notice that, and just the positivity that comes behind that people admire. So definitely the light I bring into this world.
This winter, it's time to unlimit yourself and your family. Switch to Cricket and get 4 lines for $25 each per month, plus nationwide 5G and unlimited data.
North Texas will have 2 area teams fighting for 5A state championships this weekend as well. Let's preview those teams in the Hype. South Oak Cliff head coach Jason Todd is calling for a new high school attendance record this Friday night for his game with Port Neches Groves. And judging by the crowd who came to Sock's 11 a.m. championship game last year, he might have the support to do it. The Golden Bear defense was too much for Argyle last week as they knocked off the Eagles 14-6. Texas commits Billy Walton and Malik Muhammad, along with Texas A&M commit Javon Thomas, have locked down their opponents' offenses the last 2 weeks. And now with Thomas being unleashed as Sock's secret weapon on offense, it adds more fuel to the Golden Bears' firepower. Danny Green and Thomas out of the backfield have been playmakers for South Oak Cliff as they try for a repeat in 5A Division II. As for PNG, the Indians have gotten hot at the right time. They've upset Fort Bend Marshall and Liberty Hill the past 2 weeks. Aledo has been counted out a couple of times this year, once when they started 0-2, and then again last week when they faced powerful Longview. The Bearcats are begging to be overlooked again because all Aledo has done is make it to the state title game for a 13th time. They have won a record 10 state titles, but this time Aledo will be playing for a 5A Division I state championship. The Bearcats will take on College Station at 11 a.m. Saturday morning. You can arguably say that the only people who believed Aledo would make it this far in 2022 are the people who live in Aledo. But Coach Tim Buchanan has done a masterful job the entire season of player development, and his young team is now experienced and hungry to finish the job. The Bearcats gutted out an impressive 17-14 win over Longview last Saturday through a heavy downpour and a couple lightning delays. Hawk Patrick Daniels has rushed for over 1,300 yards on the season, and Aledo has gotten big plays from Davon Keys on offense and Jaden Allen on defense. College Station lost in overtime last year in the 5A Division I title game and will be looking to finish the job this year. Last week, Brock won our defensive title belt. We talk about how they did it and who could win the belt this week in The Buzz. Brock is back in the state championship game thanks to a stingy defense and special teams. Last week against Malakoff, the Eagles got a blocked field goal and 2 huge interceptions to take down the Tigers 21-10. This week, look for either South Oak Cliff or Duncanville to bring home the defensive title belt. Both teams have built their success around athletic defenses, and in the state title game, it will be time to show and prove. That's going to do it for today's show. For even more high school football content, be sure to follow us on our social media accounts, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Ted Madden, and I hope we got you warmed up for all the action.